Greetings. Welcome to FreedomBookClub.com's video announcement for July 2012. My name is Ferb, and I'm the managing editor of the club's website. And we're listening to America Eats Its Young by Funkadelic. If you want to buy this album, which I highly recommend, you can do so through the video description on YouTube, and I'll point you to a place where you can get it. This month's book of the month is Finalist D, High Desert Barbecue by J.D. Tuccille. Thanks for the pronunciation guide, Mr. Tuccille. I really think that it's a fitting topic since half of Utah, most of Colorado, and New Mexico are on fire, that we read this book now. So, I'm going to read, here, let's look at the breakdown of the voting. That was fun. Here we go. Look at that. 66.2% of the vote cast goes to Mr. Tuccille's work on High Desert Barbecue, followed by 16.5% of the votes cast for Economics on Trial by Mark Skousen. Third place is It's a Jetsons World by Jeffrey Tucker, followed by None of the Above, and followed after that by Financial Fiasco. Ooh, page is unresponsive. That's nice. I don't really care if it's responsive. I'm gonna wait for it. I really wanted to tell you that this is an astounding month for Freedom Book Club. We've got a lot of activity from all over the world, and I'll see if I can get this to show you how many votes we got. I mean, this isn't just page views, but that people who actually responded was off the charts, more than we've ever had before. Many of whom were wanting us to read High Desert Barbecue. But, unfortunately, it is going to show us. Goody. Just have to wait for it, just for a minute. Okay, we have a lot of votes, and I'm very, very pleased about that. Okay. It's not wanting to show us, but whatever. It's a lot of votes. That's all. That's all I can say. Because it's not letting me do anything else. But let's read a review of High Desert Barbecue. Oh, there it is. Yay! Okay, we had 63.1 shares cast for Economics on Trial, but the big thing, look at this. 253.2 shares for J.D. Tuccille's book, High Desert Barbecue. Bravo, sir. Very nicely done. Let's look at the review that I found from arsgracialibertatis.com. There's no shortage of novels devoted to the outdoors whose stories appeal to backpackers, campers, and hikers, the granola sort we call them in Colorado. It takes only a minute's thought to conjure up such titles as Into the Wild, Hatchet, or Hemingway's famous short story, Big Two-Hearted River. Many of these seriously and studiously explore nature as a vast healing power, a thunderous force not to be trifled with. Rare are those stories that depict nature with a light-hearted chuckle, to be respected, sure, but also to be enjoyed by people who know what they're doing in the great outdoors. Rarer still is such a story written from a free market, libertarian perspective. Luckily, author J.D. Tuccille has taken it upon himself to rectify that deficit with his novel, High Desert Barbecue. Scott and his friend Rollo are both renegades, both in their own unique, quirky ways. While Scott commits minor acts of vandalism against police vehicles and willfully ignores building codes when renovating his house, Rollo eschews civilization altogether for months at a time in the dusty Arizona wilderness, the eponymous high desert. When Rollo, never friendly with the State Forest Service, is kicked out of his squatter's cabin by rangers, he escapes to the relative safety of Scott's home in Flagstaff. When he is then blamed by government officials for a large wildfire ravaging the western state, he drags Scott and his girlfriend Lanny into a dangerous chase that will pit them against Forest Service rangers, wacko environmentalists, and a plot that could threaten the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. J.D. Tuccille's first novel, High Desert Barbecue, is a great read, filled with likable characters, tons of humor, and a nice sprinkling of libertarianism throughout. Its breezy style makes it an easy story to pick up and get into. Tuccille's writing is fast and fun, and he manages to incorporate a libertarian perspective without becoming pedantic or preachy, instead weaving it deftly into the storyline. For instance, when Scott first meets his next-door neighbor and future girlfriend Lanny, he has just woken her up with some loud construction work. Quote, "You're renovating?" "Yep." "I don't see a permit posted." "I don't have one." "You may not know, but the city requires," the man shook his head and interrupted. "I know. But I don't care. The city doesn't own this house. I do. The mayor doesn't have to ask my permission to make City Hall even uglier than it is already. And I'm not going to ask his permission to install some cabinets and an electric oven that won't burn my dinner." Lanny stood by the doorstep with her mouth open. Then she smiled. "You don't like being told what to do you?" And that's what I'm going to read from the review of High Desert Barbecue by a duck named Joe on the website arsgratialibertatis.com. So you can be sure to check that out. Let's go on to the 4 finalists. I'll let you look at me for a second because you can't, because the lost signal to the camera. That's great. Alright, let's get back to the screenshot then. Woo, there I go. Alright. We have 4 finalists this month. I'm going to open up a new tab since I just killed my, what I had going for me. Look at that. That's the coolest thing ever. That is an intro bang for when you don't know what's up. Okay, we have 4 finalists this month. Finalist A is The Development of Outer Space by Thomas Gangal. Yes, we don't need to wait for the mothership connection. We can go right now. I'm going to read the review or the book description from Amazon.com for The Development of Outer Space. In the United States, lobbies for the commercial development of space have become increasingly antagonistic toward the international legal regime of outer space, condemning the 1967 Outer Space Treaty and the unratified 1979 Moon Agreement as anti-business. The Development of Outer Space, Sovereignty and Property Rights in International Space Law, argues that the res communis principle enshrined in the Outer Space Treaty was misrepresented here, with the essential help from corporate lobbyists whose real object was the defeat of the Law of the Sea Convention. Thomas Gangal builds the legal case for reviving this moribund Moon Agreement as a prelude to negotiating a second Moon Treaty to establish a regulatory regime for the exploitation of extraterrestrial resources. Now, for me, one of the reasons I have not been so active in the Libertarian Party in recent years is because of their stripping of the plank about the UN Moon Treaty, and this is going to be proving increasingly more important as time goes on, because, I mean, Virgin Galactic is out there. There's a whole bunch of private space companies building launch vehicles like the Dragon, things like that. So I thought this is an interesting topic, and thank you to whomever suggested it. I don't remember who did it, but I just started tracking the emails that come in with the suggestions so I can let you guys know when I put those up for consideration. Thanks again for everybody who contributed. Great recommendations this month. All right, let's go on to number 2. Frederick Douglass, a biography by Booker T. Washington and Charles W. Chestnut. And I have found a review for that on Goodreads.com. It's by Tanny, the review. This book changed my life. Frederick Douglass was a powerful and optimistic man despite all his challenges. This is the book people should read if they want to understand slavery. And, you know, for those of us who understand freedom, then this book might be interesting to us right here. Because if you don't understand slavery, then you won't appreciate freedom, I think. Must be opposition in all things. So I didn't have a lot of time to find reviews this month. Things have been going on, but I appreciate you sticking with me. And thanks for subscribing. Always welcome to subscribe, and then you'll get it automatically. I have also incorporated Amazon Prime 2-day shipping for those of you who like to get dead trees, because I think it's a good way to advertise the book and show people that you're actually reading it. Alright, so let's go on to Finalist C, Down with Power, Libertarian Policy in a Time of Crisis by L. Neil Smith. And I have found this on Amazon.com. This is a pretty new book, so there's not a whole lot of reviews out there. If you do read it, please write a review. L. Neil Smith is a fantastic guy, great writer, and he probably could use some more reviews of his work. L. Neil Smith has been writing freedom-loving fiction and non-fiction since the mid-1980s. This collection of essays has food for thought, covering most of the hot-button issues of the day. It's a must for anyone interested in Occupy Wall Street, Ron Paul, Sound Money, or any of the many freedom movements. And that is from a Amazon.com username Rob. And for those of you who are interested, L. Neil Smith's book, Ceres, actually came in second place for Book of the Year in the responses we got for our Book of the Year survey responses. And I'm sure he did a lot of cajoling and bribing people to get them to take a look at our site, and I really appreciate his help and his support of FreedomBookClub.com. If it wasn't for people like L. Neil Smith, I don't know if I'd be doing this. I really appreciate that, and so if that's interesting to you, vote for it. Go to freedombookclub.com/vote.html, cast your vote. Alright, let's get back to something that looks better than me. Our last finalist is finalist D, Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. I'll read an excerpt of a review I found from 1973, the May 3rd edition of the New York Times. Said, "You have to hand it to Kurt Vonnegut Jr. in his 8th novel, Breakfast of Champions, or Goodbye Blue Monday. He performs considerable complex magic. He makes pornography seem like any old plumbing, violence like lovemaking, innocence like evil, and guilt like child's play. He wheels out all the latest fashionable complaints about America, her racism, her gift for destroying language, her technological greed and selfishness, and makes them seem fresh, funny, outrageous, hateful, and lovable, at all at the same time. He draws pictures, for God's sake, simple, rough, yet surprisingly seductive sketches of everything from Volkswagens to electric cars. He weaves into his plot a dozen or so glorious synopses of Vonnegut stories one almost wishes were fleshed out into whole books. He very nearly levitates." Yet, astonishingly, this fiction is also a factual announcement of his intention to give up fiction. And what mars the book is that one believes the fiction, but not the facts. So those are our 4 reviews. So go to freedombookclub.com. Looks like this right now. Then go to choose which will be our next book of the month. And then you can vote, which looks like this. The voting closes on the 31st of July at 11:59 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time minus 6 hours. It's very easy. I will not show you who I'm going to vote for. And most of the books we have selected in the past, go to past selections, not found. I wonder why. Anyway, if you go to the past selections page on our website, then you can see all the books that we've read in the past, and most of those are available for rent if you are a subscriber to our book of the month. Currently, if you're currently getting the books, you can get any of the past selections I have retained for our collection for no additional cost. But if you don't want to get the book of the month, or you think that $30 is too steep, I will let you borrow or rent any of the past selections for $5 a month. Just go to subscribe, where you can make a one-time donation, and then give me your address. I'll send you out the book. There's thousands of dollars for the books in my collection, and I'll be glad if somebody else wants to read them. But I'm not willing to give them away. Plus, all the proceeds will be going to our favorite charity, the Liberty Scholarship Fund, in the form of our annual literary award. I actually want to add a secondary award because I would like to do Best Fiction and Best Nonfiction, but I don't have the money to do that right now. We need to increase our membership in order to do that. So that's all I have for now. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to buy J.D. Tuccilli's book, High Desert Barbecue, in honor of 4th of July and all the wildfires going on out west. Thanks so much, and be seeing you.